stuff's at. So I have one farm that I'm headed to now that I know is going to be ready here soon, probably in the next week, but everything else seems to be holding in yet, which is good, that they're holding on. That just means more yield. This one farm is going to be ready to go in pretty short order. So we got some work to do on the combine. We're still working on tractors. Yeah, 215 is pretty much done. We had to rebuild the hydraulic CVs on it, or the the hydraulic ports. 245, we have to replace the hub seals, so that's all torn apart. Dad has to get the hubs off yet. And then we figured out all the bearings are bad in there too, now that we have them ripped apart, so that turned into a bit of a bill. Before I go to that one farm, I think I'm gonna just peek at this other one here quick. I think this was a longer maturity here, so I don't think they're gonna be really close, but the ones that are getting close to ready, those were 2.2s. Okay, these ones aren't as ready to go. So these ones are still green and yellow yet. These ones up on the hill might be closer to getting cut. Haven't been up to this field in a while. Driveway needs to get fixed. Yeah, so as you can see here on the headlands here, it's a little green yet, but they're starting to, the middle has turned pretty good. The wind was blowing pretty good, so I wasn't gonna try to talk out there, but those are the tops are drying out, but there's still a lot of lower leaves in there yet. So last year we were combining green stem soybeans, and it's kind of a mess at the beginning last year. There were still green leaves on a lot of stuff, but it was 9-10% soybeans. So I'm hoping we don't have that problem this year. Hoping just everything dies off. Last year we never got a frost early, so I wasn't able to knock it off. Tomorrow night, I think, either tonight or tomorrow night, we should be pretty close to a frost. It's gonna be like 38 for a low. Yeah, so today we're gonna take and work on the combine. I wanna get it out of the shed. And got some work to do on the head. I got to take the filler plates out. We put filler plates. They're pretty much blocked, so they block off the first concave. There's 3 concaves in there. Filler plates block off the first concave for wheat because there would be too much area and you get too much trash in a sample. So we homemade them and put them in. So they're just little aluminum plates. They work out good. It's going to be one of those years, there's going to be a lot of hopscotching, I feel. Especially on beans. Corn, the bulk of it's still green yet. We have some shorter day corn that's drying up, but we had fungicide sprayed on everything and stuff's holding on. So, which again, I'm not complaining because the more it holds on, the more test weight we build and more yield. Weight equals yield, and weight is what we want. Yeah, this year I don't think we really want to push anything. Everything is kind of late this year, just because we had a later spring and we've actually had ample moisture here. So we actually a couple weeks ago got a 6-inch rain, which kind of saturated stuff. So I'm sure fields are still wet yet from that, because we've been getting on and off rains here. Yesterday we had hail, but it really didn't do much rain and it wasn't much hail, so there's enough that makes you go, why? So this is backfield in this farm. Those things are getting close. So that's a 20-acre field there, and then there's a 50-acre field up on the other side, which we're gonna go up there right now. And then there's this field right here too. That one's gonna be getting there too. Still some green in here yet. Yeah, so like that other field, this one still has a lot of green leaves on it yet. Yellow leaves. Still even some green stems with green pods on them. It might not be a week off. This might be a week and a half to 2 weeks off. We want to try to get some of this stuff dried out because this is what we were dealing with last year. Is the bulk of the beans were ready to go and they were actually really dry. But you had a lot of stems in here that were still green yet, and it's just so hard on the combine. These ones aren't too far off from those other ones. These are a 2.2 as well. Looks like they got the tool truck up doing an oil change, and there's some noise in the front end, so they're looking into that. So we put Tiger lights. This is fully outfitted with Tiger lights now. We got all the lights except for the hood lights on this tractor. We got to put them on yet, but eventually we'll get those. We couldn't get them. Yeah. Let that warm up for a little bit. On the header we got some dull sections that we're gonna have to replace. I don't know, all the guards look good. I don't know, I usually miss one. But then we have this plate here that has to get fixed. We're just gonna weld it. I'm gonna pressure wash this out and then we're gonna weld that. We gotta take and put the flex back into it. We had it rigid for wheat. So to put the flex back in, you basically have to push up on this on the bottom of the sickle and take this pin out and put it in this hole. It's in rigid mode right now, and then this is flex. Pretty self-explanatory. There's 10 of these pins on the bottom, so just the fact of having to go down the line and do them all. So flex, no flex. So the reason we do this is with wheat, we're not hugging the ground like we are in soybeans, because wheat, the seeds are on the top of the plant. Soybeans, the seed or the kernels are all the way down the plant. So we want to get as close to the ground as we can because there's a lot of pods that are closer to the ground. All right, got the flex back in the head. I am going to go and work on a little project here quickly, and then I'm going to come back to this. We're going to have our combine guy. He's going to come down sometime this week, early next week, and go over the combine and just make sure we're not missing anything. We're just gonna replace every section on there. It's not worth, you know, going through and picking each one out. So. Oh, so much for no swearing. Well, explain what you're doing to the truck.
Oh, all right. Well, I just put new shocks on it, and I chipped some of the. There was a lot of rust on this front end, and I chipped it away and put some rust converter on there, and I'm greasing it and changing the oil. That's all. Just to get us through.
Yep.
I have a bad pitman arm, and well, the pitman arm is worn, and then so is the control link up here, but it's fine because we put 1,000 miles on this thing, and they're not worn out to the point where they're dangerous. It doesn't see highway miles, and you know, I mean, I'm just not too excited about it. So, but neither here nor there.
That'll do. So we have the hubs and planetaries for the 245. These bearings were bad. So, gotta get those replaced. Those weren't cheap.
No, they weren't. Just the bearings alone were $1,000.
Oh yeah, so I'm working on the sickle bar right now, replacing all the sections. And then we got another sickle bar here from a different head that we've had, and the boot at the end is bad. So we're gonna try to figure out how to, if we can rig that up so we can run this for part of the season to get some use out of it yet. So, but this is the bar off the head. We just took it out and replace. We're gonna replace all of them because we don't want to take, and we want it to last the whole season without having to change them. So. So it's a couple days later. Yesterday we had our combine guy come and check this over. Just kind of did a pre-harvest check. Got a couple things that we're gonna have to do to it. Nothing huge. I'm gonna take these filler plates out here. So Dad ran down to Janesville to get some parts from the case dealer. We ran out of sections. So I got 17 sections I need yet. So we'll just get another box 25, then we have some on hand. In case one breaks. Jeremy's putting lights on, Tiger lights on, or the LED lights on the 245. Out here working on stuff. We keep getting rain. We had rain a couple days ago, and we got just about an inch of rain. So my uncle is down cutting it fourth crop hay down below the farm here, so go down and get some video of that for you guys. All right, here's, oh hello, there's a ditch there. Almost ate crap. Yeah, these are getting there. Ground is a little moist, yet, but I don't know. We still have some green stem, some pods that ain't quite there yet. Some of these are getting there. They crunch a little bit, but they're probably about that. If every bean was like the one I'm chewing on now, it would probably be about 15, so 15, 16. They didn't quite have they had a crunch, but they didn't have a snap, so if that makes any sense. But there's a flag over there, flag right here. So our agronomist put in a AMS trial, ammonium sulfate, 100 pounds to the acre on a dry. It was a dry spread. We still have a little ways to go. You can look down the rows and they ain't quite there yet. So there's still quite a bit of this in there. So we're a decent ways off yet, even here. But these got, I believe these ones got fungicide on them. So yeah, these outside rows would be good, but you can't pick headlands and then not pick anything else. So I want to come here when it's all ready. Alright, well, after quite a bit of swearing and some inappropriate comments, we got this sickle bar back into the head. This was quite the little ordeal. There's a little bar here that connects the sickle bar to the head, or to the drive that's on the head. And there's this little block right here that 2 bolts go on to put the sickle bar on, and we had to take that off of the original sickle bar that came off this head because the little block there, the holes were too small for the bolts to go in. So that sickle bar was from a different head, so another 3020, but that was a 2014 or 2015. We tried to take the block off to see if, you know, we could throw the block from the other one on. It didn't work there either because the bolts are different. So now this one here is, we just took the whole little bar off and put it on. All the messing around we did, you know, trying to fix that boot and all that on there were for nothing. So we threw it back on the sickle bar that I replaced all the sections on, just to hold these sickles in, these sections here. So, but that one will go back in the head. There's a little compartment underneath that stores a spare sickle bar in it. So we're gonna throw it in there. So another thing we had to replace on here was this sensor. It started giving us grief last year. So this is the sensor basically to tell if the chopper is still turning yet. If the buzzer goes off, that means the chopper's not turning. And you know, that would tell you to shut the combine off right away. Otherwise, if that chopper plugs, you have a mess. We've had to do that before. So we actually, the belt wasn't engaged, so it got plugged up and it was a mess. All right, so the GoPro died. So we have a frost advisory tonight. It's supposed to get pretty close to freezing. I don't really mind the frost right now because it'd be nice to start knocking some of the stuff back, but then again, or start killing the beans off, but the corn hasn't hit black layer yet in a lot of areas, so that gets a little nerve-wracking, but we'll see what happens. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please, if you guys enjoyed the content, let me know down in the comments. Hit the thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Catch you guys in the next one.